Man, has it been so much fun. So I just want to say, I am so grateful. I am so excited you're here. So go ahead and say hi as you come on. This is our third and final night of the Paint and Business Bootcamp. So if you had fun, please let me know in the comments. Okay, I'm going to get a sip of coffee. Hello. Let's have our coffee together and talk some numbers. So tonight is all about talking numbers. Hey, Tammy. Hey, guys, go ahead and say hi. We have an action-packed, I'm going to be with you for the next hour. So get something to drink. Let's have some fun. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Sandy. So have y'all had fun? Let me know if you have. I have had a blast. This has been so much fun. And I have some exciting stuff to talk to you about tonight, as well as answering questions and so much more. Oh my gosh, yes, Deb says coffee. Yes, I am drinking coffee. I need coffee. Priscilla says, I've loved every moment of it. Awesome. Tracy says, hello. I hear numbers. People want to hear numbers. And like I said, I've been teaching paint parties for over 13 years, and I am so happy to share so much with you. So I hope, like I said, I'm gonna take a drink. Hold on, we got all of y'all logging on, so let me take a quick drink. Yeah, it was fun, all 5 hours of it. I know. I saw somebody comment and say, I was tired just watching. So yes, we're gonna break it all down, and we are gonna spend the next hour talking about some fun stuff. And let's give a shout out to the PPHQ team and to Bobby, my husband. Oh my gosh, he was guiding the camera pretty much for 5 hours last night. So I haven't even seen the footage because I was living the footage, but I heard that he did a really great job. Did anybody else happen to notice if Bobby did a good job or not? Well, y'all let me know. Let me know if he did a good job or not. Susan says, yes, her husband was a good sport. Love the black and white flowers. Awesome. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, good. Yes, everybody. Yeah, he knows that he does. Like I said, you can't be around a paint party business for as long as we've been around paint party businesses and not know, even catch up a thing or two. So did he ever get nachos? No, me or Bobby did not get nachos. I heard they were really good. Bobby was phenomenal. Oh, thank you. I'm going to let him know that. Okay, good. That's awesome. Kim says yes. Okay, awesome. So what I wanted to share with you, last night, a lot of things happened. We did an in-person paint party so that you could see real time exactly how this works. So I know all of you that are in this group, you signed up for the Paint and Business Bootcamp because you want to not only paint with me, but you also wanted to learn how you could do a paint party business. So tonight we're going to break it all down. I'm going to be answering your questions. Later, I'm going to talk about paint party headquarters. Some of y'all have been asking about that and excited to join paint party headquarters. And as we're thinking about this, I want you to think about what could happen if I could do one paint party a month? What could that make possible for my family? Could I put the money away for a vacation? Could I put the money away for something exciting or special? So as we break this down, you don't have to do a paint party of 40 people. So I teach in paint party headquarters. There's many ways to do paint parties. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And then I also wanted to share, last night was so cool because I talk a lot about accountability partners. I talk a lot about this paint party adventure isn't just about paint parties, is it? Yes, it's awesome to make some extra money, but a paint party business or a paint party adventure isn't just always about the money. And when I first started doing this, that's what I thought it was about. And then I started realizing how much it helped people, how much it helped people heal, how much it helped me not think about my problems. As you saw last night for 5 hours, did I have time to think about anything that was going on in my life? No, I was having fun. I was helping. I was serving other people and making money while doing it. So when you have a paint party business, it's not just about the money. There's so much more to it. Sharing God's love through art, things that you want to do. Yeah, somebody said Sandra says it was surreal. But accountability partners, we had 2 people there that came to Dollywood this last year with me. and they call themselves the Dolly Sisters. And there's a bunch of them, but Anna and Melissa were there, and they actually met in North Carolina or in Tennessee, and then came to the paint party last night in person. And then they've been meeting, every Sunday to be accountability partners. So I want y'all to know that there's so many cool things that can happen instead of just making money. There's so many cool things. Some people have already, I saw, was it Amy? She already booked a party using this design. So guys, I'm going to teach you tonight how to book a party. And some of y'all are going to be able to use this method and start booking parties right away. And I'm really excited. Anybody excited about doing that? Because I have a magic script that works like magic. Surprise. It works like magic. And I'm going to give you that script tonight. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I want to try to stay on track. Do not worry. As you have questions, and my team, Brendan and Julie, a bunch of them are on here. They're going to be grabbing your questions and putting them in a sheet for me. And then I'm going to be answering those questions at the end of tonight. Okay. So let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, and this is a party from last night. Okay, so we're going to talk about paint party breakdown, the setup and breakdown first. We're going to do the full paint party breakdown, and I'm actually going to go back and forth and talk about all of these different things. So setup and breakdown, we're going to talk about hired help. How many of y'all last night, I know Bobby was telling me on the way home, he was saying a lot of y'all were asking who you hire. How much do you pay them? Is it family? Is it friends? All of those different things. We're going to talk about supplies. We're going to talk about event highlights and struggles. We're going to talk about marketing. And there is a heart next to marketing. You know why? Because marketing, I know in the art world, a lot of us, we're sensitive souls. We want to give everything away. But here's the thing. I used to be that person. I used to give everything away for free and not value what I was doing. I love marketing. I love everything about it. And I love teaching you how to market because that's going to help your family. We're going to talk about pricing breakdown. We're going to talk about the easiest step to get started and then success path. And then we're going to have a Q&A. Okay, so setup and breakdown. So you can see here we have Cherie, who's my mother-in-law, on the left. And then behind her is Shannon. Shannon is a Paint Party Headquarters member who was there. I met her for the first time in person. And she came early to help set up. And it was really, really cool to see her and her daughter. And then over on the right, you can see we have a lot of family that's helping. So that's Bobby's aunt and Pam. I call her my aunt. My mother-in-law, Cherie, Pixie, of course, and Bobby. So a little behind the scenes. And setup and breakdown. So if you want to see every single detail, remember, go back to video 2 and you can just watch the first part of it. The whole first part is the setup. And we have it sectioned in the announcements here where you can see just the setup part. It is really not that hard, y'all. When I first started doing this, I was searching for somebody to help me. Basically, you got to get easels out. Do you have to have easels? Let me know in the comments. Do you? Those of you doing paint parties already, do you have to have easels? No, you do not. Did you see last night so many people that moved their easels off of the table? Did you see that I don't even like painting on an easel? Like when y'all see me paint live, I paint flat almost all of the time unless I'm holding it up for you. And easels and aprons are not mandatory. I didn't have aprons for many years. I finally got aprons, and those are the same aprons that I bought Pixie was in 3rd grade. So she's in 9th grade now. So that's how long those aprons have lasted me. I bought them at a company called apronsbythecase.com, and I had them embroidered, and then I literally just do a paint party and I wash them. And so they just go in the washer, they go in the dryer. So all we did, and you can see the full breakdown, but we literally just have brushes. We have a paper towel. We have a water cup. We have the instructions in case people needed it. Plus, it takes the pressure off me. It really does. I get my canvas at Michael's on sale. So if you missed the paint party supply trip where we went shopping we actually did like a pre-shopping trip. You can go back and watch that shopping trip, which was really cool. And that is in it's kind of like a bonus first video. So you can check that out as well. And then we pretty much just have the paints ready. And as you saw last night, we put the paints on a plate. The reason we do that, especially if you're doing a bigger party, it's easier to have all the paints on a plate so that you can just go. Now, there are 1,000 ways to do a paint party business, and whatever way is comfortable for you, I want you to know. So for example, we might have my mother-in-law, she might be in charge of getting all the water cups out, plus all of the directions. We might have 2 people at the supplies. Now, if you're doing a party of 10 people, you might not even need to hire anybody. Okay. So if you're, especially those of y'all that are used to being an art teacher, we're used to being thrown into a classroom with 30 kindergartners. If you can do a classroom of 30 kindergartners, you can teach 100 people by yourself. It's pretty much the same thing. So what I'm saying is if you're doing 6 people, 8 people for your first one, you don't really have to worry too much about hiring somebody. But if you are nervous and you want to get a friend or a family member, then you can have them on there. So for example, we have Cherie there passing out the stuff. I always do an example plate of paint. And then I have, once I have the example, hey, this is 2 quarter sizes of blue, 1 quarter size of white. We always talk about like dime size, nickel size, quarter size. That way, when they're putting the paint out, they kind of know about how much to put out on each one. Then once that's ready, we go ahead about 30 minutes till we start putting paint out. The reason why is acrylic paint will stay fine until we start at 7. Also, some people at paint parties, they only allow that much. And we'll talk also about how much I pay them. We only, some people only allow the colors you're using. Some people will not allow people to go grab paint. I personally, I don't care. I always make kind of like an art section or an art table. And I make it more like, I want you to create and I want you to have a blast tonight. So again, it's totally your style. I know my style doesn't fit everybody, but what I would love for you to do is take a little bit of what you do like, take what you don't like, and then mosh it up and then make your own style. Okay, so how much would you pay somebody? Now, you can do anything from $10 an hour to $15 an hour, but a normal rate is $10 an hour for however many hours they're there. So here's how I feel about paint parties. When I was first doing these for pretty much the first decade, I was like hustling as fast as I could because every single extra penny was helping my family. So I would work faster, I'd work harder. And then as I started getting, just a little bit bigger parties, as I started getting bigger events, for example, there's a restaurant that I do every year, and we usually have about 50 people or more at this big event. It's a huge Christmas event. And the first day I did it, like the first time I did it, I did not want that event to go south because I wanted them to ask me back every year. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to hire a few extra people so that we can make this thing so smooth. I want my helpers to almost feel bored when they're at a big event because they're walking around circling like sharks. So I'm pretty much like, once we get everybody settled, that first 20 minutes is really the critical time of setting the intention, setting the mood of the party, that we're here to have fun, that this is not about stress. This is not about really crazy, technical art. This is about blobs. This is about swooshing. This is about all of that stuff. So I want y'all to know, if you need to hire help, especially for your first one, you can, but you don't have to at the beginning. Okay, so we're going to talk about supplies. Okay, so we added that's one of my friends from high school, and then Julie, she's a part of the Paint Party headquarters team. She's over there on the right, and so I don't recommend nachos. Okay, let me take a drink and tell you about that. Okay, so I do not recommend buying nachos or having food. If you're at like a church event or a restaurant event, they can buy their own food. That's one of the benefits, and we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But what I want y'all to do is think about, where you can be hosting these. And then we also added, in Paint Party headquarters, those of y'all that are interested in Paint Party headquarters, we're going to talk about that too, along with the Q&A. we have a paint party checklist. I think I printed it somewhere. Let me see where it went. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we have a paint party checklist. I don't know if you can see this. I might have to show you here in just a little bit when I go back to just my face. But it had basically what I do is when I first started doing these paint parties, I would always forget something, always. And so what I would do is I would tack this to my wall right before I'm going out so that I can just scan through. Okay, I need the key for the venue. If I'm doing a venue where there's going to be a key. I used to do a country club all the time where they would leave it. I'd have to go pick up a key. And tablecloths, water cups, paintbrushes, paper towels, baby wipes, paper plates, paint, guest list, email sign-up sheet, prizes, surveys. Surveys is a good one that we talk about in Paint Party headquarters. Easels, aprons, canvases, example canvas. That's a big one. How many of y'all have done a paint party and then you forgot your example canvas? I've done that before. Phone charger, music, business cards. And then my last one, most importantly, and let me know if I forgot anything on this list, but the big old smile, okay? You want to smile. You want to be happy when you're doing a paint party. So that list is in Paint Party headquarters. So you can grab that. And for those of y'all that are in Paint Party headquarters. Okay, so highlights. Let's talk highlights. So this was last night. Highlights teaching, obviously. There is nothing better than seeing somebody like Amy, who in this group last night, she goes, I'm so excited. This was my second painting ever. And her painting was beautiful. And I was like, wait, when was your first painting? And she goes, the night before. Like, she said last night because she had painted the flowers with me night one. Then she painted the flowers with me last night. And she was so proud. That was her second painting ever. And I was like, well, do you think you could do this again? And teach it? And she's like, yeah, I think I can, because that's the thing. You don't have to be the best painter. You don't have to be the best teacher. You just have to have a heart for encouraging. And again, not everybody wants to do big parties. Okay. This for me is, and Elizabeth saying, love the information. Shanna's saying, I love that you teach us and let us know so many possibilities and no one right way. Yeah, there's 1,000 ways to teach this, Shanna, 1,000 ways. And you can take what you love about what I do, and you can take what you love about what you do, and you can mesh it together. You're going to find that perfect mix for you. You're going to find that maybe Heidi uses glitter, but I don't really like to bring that. I kind of think that's a little bit of a mistake, because glitter, as long as it's not the shake glitter, don't bring the shake glitter. Okay. Always bring the crystal glitter glue. I promise you will have so many people that love it. But teaching, I talk about it all the time, like, sharing God's love through art. Like, this is more than just making money. And seeing old friends, seeing my friend from high school, seeing people that I'm meeting from Paint Party headquarters, seeing people that, I haven't seen. A lot of times those people become my friends. And a lot of the people that I've met from a paint party, one of them's named Gina. She's a friend of mine from Frisco, and we are still friends today. And I met her at a paint party I did years ago, I think over 6 years ago. And one of my favorite things about this is all the memories and all the memories to come that I have with Pixie, with my family doing this. And for those of y'all that don't know me, for about 4 years straight, we did a really long road trip to Florida, me and Pixie. Like, we would be gone sometimes for 12, 14 days. And we would pack, I had a Jeep, we'd pack my entire Jeep full, and we called it a paint party tour. And we would go to these places and do these paint parties. And the reason I did that is because we lived in Florida for 10 years and I missed the beach like crazy. And I had a lot of friends and family still in that area. But we did that so I could pay for a vacation. So I would have this, I thought, okay, if I get Pixie in the car with me and we're stuck in a car for, 14 plus hours there and 14 plus hours back, we've got a bond, right? Like, you got a bond. And so we would do that. We did that for 4 years straight. And it was some of my best summers. And Joellen says, you never know what others are going through. Joellen, I am so glad you said that, because that's the thing. I remember teaching a paint party at a restaurant one time. And this lady was having a blast. And by the end of it, I was teaching her Starry Night. And by the end of it, she told me that she was going through cancer treatments. I had no idea. And she started opening up to me towards the end of the paint party. And something that, again, I was doing, just being there, having fun, showing love, walking around talking. How many of y'all last night saw me walking around and talking? How many of y'all saw me do that? Now, not all paint party instructors do that. A lot of paint party instructors, which again, to each their own, you have to find the way that works best for you. But I have found that if I can show the technique and then I can go around and walk and talk to people, I love that so much. Nancy says, I've made many friends at paint parties as well. Yeah, Nancy, isn't that awesome? And when you're walking around talking to people, it becomes more about relationships than it ever does about paint parties. But sometimes when I think about this stuff, like, I feel so grateful that I get to do a job where I get to connect with people. That when we're doing this entrepreneurial job and when we are trying to do everything we can for our family and we're doing something that is, out of our comfort zone, and then you can meet up at a place and then all of a sudden, something that was so scary, something that was so fearful, then it becomes like, hey, like, I know the bartenders, I know the workers at the restaurant. I feel like I work there. I'm coming in for my shift. Like, it has that feeling, like that family feeling. Hey, Angela, how you doing? How are the kids? What's going on? Okay, I'm going to go get set up. You're talking, then your guests start arriving and your guests become friends. And it is crazy that we get paid to do this. Like, I think about, making $300 in a night, and I get paid to do that when I'm literally just having a blast. Is it work? Yes. But is it fun? Oh my gosh, yes. And there's so much more than that. Making money, I talked about that just for a second. Making money is a huge highlight. Yes, that is why I started this, to make extra money. And then I realized how much more it was going to give me on this paint party adventure. Struggles, tablecloths. For example, some of y'all saw me last night. I was like, dang it, we didn't bring enough tablecloths. Sometimes you're going to forget stuff and you got to just get scrappy. You got to go, okay, what can I do? I have cut tablecloths in halves. I've done all kinds of stuff. I brought round ones to rectangle places. I brought rectangles to, anybody do that? Or is it just me? Hopefully it's not just me. And then tech issues. You don't really have to worry about tech issues. We had tech issues because we were filming it for y'all and we were doing a lot of, streaming. But you really shouldn't have tech issues. You need your phone to be able to take some good pictures. But besides that, you really don't have to worry too much about tech issues. And then also, we're going to touch on a little bit of marketing. Okay, so how many of y'all right now are so excited? I call it, you're nervous, you're excited. Pixie used to call it nervitis or nervited when you're nervous and excited. How many of y'all are excited or nervous and you're so excited about the paint party part, but when you start thinking about the marketing, you freak out? How many of y'all, let me know in the comments if that's you, okay? Because here's the thing. I love the marketing part. That's where, I love the marketing part as much as I love the painting part. So that's why I love teaching you. That's why I open up so much. And as you can see over the last 2 days, how much I open up about that. So whenever, we talk about marketing, this marketing pack is for you to book a party. And then if those of y'all that are interested in Paint Party Headquarters, we have that times a ton inside of there for all different kinds of paintings. So you can just grab and go. And you can use this design. So you can totally use this design. Even if you don't join Paint Party Headquarters, it's fine. I want you to use this design and I want you to book parties tonight. Like, I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. Okay. All right. So let's do a pricing breakdown. Okay. So a typical paint party, $350 if you're doing 10 people at $35 a person. Okay. So how many of y'all are doing parties already? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see who's doing parties already. And then how many of y'all are doing or thinking about doing parties? Because I want to kind of speak to both sets of you, okay? And Cindy says, I am learning so much from you, putting icing on my parties. Oh, that's so cute. I love that, Cindy. And let me know in the comments, because here's the deal. Last night, teaching 40 people at once is not everybody's cup of tea. When I started doing paint parties, that was like my dream. Like, I want to teach big parties. Like, I've taught all the way up to 129 people at once on a giant stage. I got to share my testimony, which I'll share a little bit in a second with y'all, about kind of how this all happened through my bankruptcy. And so it was crazy because that was my dream. And then now I get to do that, and I get to live that, and I love it. But some of you on here, you're just like, no, I just want to teach 6 people once a month. And that is totally fine. So what I want you to see is that I'm going to teach you how to do a venue where you don't have to pay for it. I'm going to teach you to not buy food. Last night was just a special occasion, but normally nachos are not included. People buy their own food. And supplies are about $50. And I put a breakdown over here on the right. But basically, a typical paint party of 10 people, you can expect to bring home after your cost $300. Now, brushes are the most expensive. That's like a one-time cost for many, many paint parties. So like I touched on earlier, the food and the venue is free, because I'm going to teach you how to book a party where you're booking it at a restaurant or you're booking it at a church where you don't have to pay for the location. The brushes, for example, and the aprons and the easels. Aprons and easels, I did not buy for a long time. Then when I did buy, for example, my easels, those I went every time there was a sale. I would have a paint party because I teach a profit every party. I don't want you to have your first party and not make a profit. I literally teach you how to make a profit from your very first party. I think that is very important. Very important. If you go buy 20 easels, you go buy 20 aprons, and all of a sudden you're doing your first party and you're already in the red, how motivating is that? Not motivating at all. So I want you, like when I leave a paint party, I already know I have a profit. So your brushes, I'm telling you guys, use the coupons. Buy them when they're on sale. My first several paint parties had mixed brushes. Nothing matched. I just grabbed what I had in my art studio. I always bought the Walmart 50-cent paint. So I would get a couple of pre-buys. Like I always teach you, don't just show up and hope people are going to pay you. Always pre-sell. I teach you all of that. But what I do is I get a couple of pre-sales, a couple of prepays, we call it. And then I go buy the paint I need. I go buy the canvases on sale. If y'all watched me do that bonus at the beginning where me and Pixie went shopping, if you hadn't seen it yet, go back and watch it. It's a lot of fun. We go shopping and I get lost and y'all are all trying to help me find the carbon paper. It was hilarious. But there was something that I thought was on sale and then it wasn't on sale. And I put it back. I was like, nope, I can wait till the sale. Totally wait for the sale. Lisa, and let me know in the comments if you are excited or you want to teach paint parties. I see Lisa says, I want to teach paint parties. Well, Lisa, you are in luck because this is the best place to be. I'm going to teach you everything I can about it. And so that's like a one-time cost. So once you have that, you're looking at maybe 50 to 60 per paint party. People always want to discount their parties to way cheap. Guys, the reason they're paying you, it's more for a service. The reason I did Billy Bob's like I did last night is because I actually wanted to show you how it could be as a big venue. Although I've done churches as big venues, all of that, I wanted to just get one together to show you in person because you can learn so much more. And let me know if you did, rather than me just sitting here saying, this is what you can do. How much of y'all learned so much more just by watching over my shoulder last night? Let me know if you learned a lot by watching over my shoulder. So normally what we do is in a setting, we have a restaurant. So I have a local goat that I go to all the time. So that one is totally free. People come in, they buy their food. I encourage them to come in early and they buy their food. I'm not paying for any food except for my own. And then we paint together. And the reason that a restaurant will let you use a venue like that is because I'm going to teach you how to do the magic script to go on a slow night. So the restaurant's open anyway, but restaurants naturally have a slow night. And so we're going to talk about how you can book that. Okay, so identity in God, not success. Okay, so I want to talk just briefly a little bit about this. Now, here's something that happened to me last year. I want to share why it's so important as you have this paint party business that you don't put your identity in your success. So last year was a big moment for me. I have been paying on my student loans for over 10 years, like, 42, I think I owed $42,000 or $44,000. I don't remember the exact amount. I should have it burned into my skull because I've been paying on it for so long. But last year I had enough money to pay it off in full, which was a huge monumental thing for me because I'm all about, especially since going bankrupt, I'm all about like Dave Ramsey, don't have debt, all of this stuff. So I've been paying on the student loan. Well, I finally had earned enough money. I was going to pay it off. So I called the company and I'm like, this is a big deal. I'm going to pay this off. And I was like, they're going to send me flowers. They're going to throw a parade for me. Like everybody's going to jump and cheer and it's going to be magnificent. Like I thought all these things were going to happen when I reached this pivotal, what I thought was going to be this pivotal moment in my life. Guess what happened? I literally called. She told me how to do it. I put in my information and she said, thanks, have a great day. And I was like, well, is there a certificate? Like, do you have a big document? Like, is there, no, it'll show up in your account and like nothing. If you put all of your happiness into when you have this big event, when you have this huge pivotal moment, you are going to be disappointed. So I talk about being a lifelong learner. I talk about always like enjoying as you're doing it. Like last night, having a blast, being in the moment, knowing that that's where I'm at right now. And I am okay with that. I know I'm going to grow. I know other opportunities are going to come, but my identity is in God, not the success I'm having on this earth. So if there's anybody out there that is struggling with that and thinking, I'm only as good as my next paint party, you can't look at it that way. I looked at it that way for a long time. I looked at it as, oh my gosh, I had this paint party and 10 people paid me and it was successful. Then I had a paint party the next week. And guess what? Nobody signed up for it. That is nothing against you. That is business. Sometimes you hit a home run. Sometimes you don't. And that's okay. That is part of it. So for those of y'all that don't know, and again, I'm going to be answering Q&A at the end, so don't worry. There'll be Q&A coming, as well as I'm going to give you the magic script and talk a little bit about how to book your paint party, because I want y'all booking your paint parties starting tonight, if not tomorrow, and I'm going to give you that magic script. But for those of y'all that don't know me, so I went bankrupt, just letting y'all know, I lost everything. So we lost everything back in I think it was, Pixie was about, let me see. Oh, there's a lot of y'all on here. Hello. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So thank you for addressing this. And she says, I put so much into that. Yeah. Success. Yeah. You can't put it all in there. Okay. So I want to share just a little bit about, like I said, I've been doing paint parties for over 13 years. And when we went bankrupt, so we lost everything. And what happened was I started using art to heal. At that time, I did not realize I was doing that, but I was painting these little surfboards. I used my sister's saw. We had sawed some surfboards and they were all like haphazardly, from her house. And then I just started painting them. Well, I was a full-time teacher. I was making about $22,000 a year as a teacher in Florida. Well, I started bringing these surfboards to school and I was painting them and on my lunch break, before school or after school. And so the kids would see them and they'd go, Miss Easley, oh my gosh, can you put my name on that? Can you make that one for me? Please put my name on it. Can I have that? Can I have that? And I'd go, no, and about the 100th kid would say it. And I go, a light bulb went off. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I could help my family get out of our struggle and sell these surfboards. And so I, called, I talked to my husband. I called my mother-in-law, Sheree. You saw her picture in here earlier. And she's like, yeah, she goes, let's go, let's set up a meeting. And she goes, I'm going to help you. And so we went to Pier Park. So anybody been to Panama City Beach and in Pier Park in Florida? Well, right there, there's a Starbucks. And I was actually in a table. I had a booth that I rented for 3 days a week for 2 months there. Well, the first day I set up, like we had, sawed all these surfboards, with a skill saw or whatever jigsaw. I don't even know what it's called, but we sawed them out. We got ready and we got set up. Well, I'm like, man, this is a new life. Like it's going to be new. Everything's going to be great. I know people want these. And then it is literally crickets. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh my gosh. I'm like, this sucks. And so my mother-in-law sees me and she's like, because what do you do when you've lost everything? You've failed miserably. You have nowhere to go. This is your, backup plan to your backup plan. You go to Buffalo Wild Wings and you have a drink. So we walked across the street, if you've ever been to Pier Park, and we walked across the street and went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we were at the bar and I had a drink and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This is awful. Like this, how can I screw up so much before I'm 30? Like, how can I mess up this bad? And about that time, my husband calls. And he goes, you got to get over here. We have orders. And I'm like, you're lying. He's like, no, Heidi, get over here. We have orders. And I'm tipsily walking across the street and he has this stack of papers. And I will never, ever forget this moment. It has changed my life forever. He has this stack of papers and he is holding them out. And he's like, get to painting. Get to painting. We have orders. Get to painting. And it was in that moment that I was literally like flat on my face, totally done for. Thinking, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, I have failed so much. How can I fail this much before I'm 30? When I was in my 20s, I didn't realize we can fail. We can fail again. There's so much grace. Like, God gives us so much grace. But I was too immature to see that. And in that moment, it's like when I saw those orders, it was like God scooped me up off of the floor. And not only made me have this feeling of I can do whatever I want to do, but also that I'm going to be able to paint forever and I'm going to be able to make a living doing what I love, that God gave me this gift for a reason. And so I painted like crazy. We went on to sell over 1,000 hand-painted surfboards, which meant this girl who literally painted one painting in a year to painting over 1,000 hand-painted surfboards in just 2 months. Because I knew every freaking $20 I charged for that surfboard, I knew I was going to make money for my family. And I painted so fast. I learned to paint fast. And I literally was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I realized that bankruptcy, although it made me feel like a loser and awful and all of that, it made me realize the power of getting scrappy, of pulling up your bootstraps and actually taking action and what could happen when you do that. So I hope this helps y'all. I hope this helps your, just knowing that anything can happen. Okay. So who is ready for the exact script to use for teaching a paint party, for booking a paint party? And go ahead and everybody says, no wonder you're so speedy. Now I can paint like crazy. Liz says, I love and appreciate your story. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to take a moment to share my story, because I think some of y'all don't know what has happened over the past, 13 years in my family's life. And I want y'all to know that there's so much that can be had through, praying for opportunities, for taking action, for realizing that you never know where God is going to lead you. I always say this is a paint party adventure. This might be a stepping stone to your next step, to your next thing. You do not know where it's going to lead you. But if you don't take the first freaking step, you're never going to know what possibilities are out there. So I'm just so, so grateful that has happened. Okay, so I'm going to share the easy step to get started. So here's what I want you to do. If you want to book a paint party, starting tonight, you can literally send this message starting tonight. All you have to do is say, my name is fill in the blank, and I teach step-by-step paint parties. I would love to see about doing an event at your restaurant on a slow night. Do you have time this week to talk? Question mark. Then put your name. Thanks, Heidi, for example. And you can screenshot this if you want. So go ahead and take a screenshot so you have this exact script. I advise not to veer away from the script too much. Do not put how much it costs. Do not put 1,000 painting options. Literally put this script and put 2 on-trend paintings. If you don't have 2 paintings, guess what painting you can put? Dun, da, 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 the flower painting, because you have rights to use it to make money in your business. So what I want you to do is put this. Now, I want to know who has ever used this script before. Who has ever used this script before to book a party? And if you have, let us know in the comments now, because this script works like magic. And here's what I recommend doing. I recommend going to Facebook. I recommend going to the search bar. I don't know if you know this, but just like searching a friend, you can search restaurants in your town or within an hour's radius. So what I like for you to do is search your town's name. So for example, I could, if I'm doing Fort Worth area, I could do Fort Worth restaurants. Then I can look at the restaurants that have good ratings and also the restaurants that have lots of social media action. And what I mean by that is, for example, the Local Goat here in Granbury, they are not a chain restaurant, although there are some chains that it works well with, but I find that the chain restaurants don't work as well as the local hangouts, for example. So those local places, their Facebook page is hopping. They're going to be easy to talk about doing something like this in a collaboration where they're going to want to post about it and get information about it, especially for those of y'all that are brand new to this and you don't have an email list. You don't have an audience yet. You are brand new to this. Let me take a quick drink. So I want you to take a picture of this and I want you to put this on here. The reason why this works is when you ask a question at the end, do you have time to talk this week? What happens is your brain immediately, when you read a very small snippet and then you read a question, you immediately are like, oh my gosh, I need to answer that. And whenever you send this to restaurants, and you can also kind of veer it for church groups, for women's groups, stuff like that. You can change it up just a little bit, but you want to keep it short and sweet. You got to remember, people are busy. If you send them a huge thing and then get it back, they're just going to see it and go, that's too much. That's too overwhelming. I can't deal with that right now. For example, last night was 5 hours long. Setup, paint party, cleanup. We broke the video into sections because how many of y'all, if I go, hey, let's watch a 5-hour video, how many of y'all are like, yes, I have plenty of hours and I'm going to watch all 5 hours right this moment. Some of y'all were able to watch it live because you planned for it. You knew it was coming. But for a lot of you, you can't just go, yep, got 5 hours. Let's do it right now. No, that's why we broke it up into sections, because now you can go, oh, how do I set up? Let me watch that part. How do I clean up? Let me get that part. Let me get that down. Same thing with this. If you're trying to get a paint party booked, you do not want to do this huge amount of, oh my gosh. And Janetta says, you have this down to a science. I love it. Yes, definitely. Bobby says, paint parties are so much fun, not just for students, but the teacher loves it probably more than my kids. Definitely. That's how I feel too. And Liz says, I love and appreciate your story. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. So yeah, so I want you to send this and I want you to send it only to 5 restaurants. Why only 5 restaurants? Because more than usual, you will get one back. So I want you to do that your first day, okay? Your second day, if you don't get any responses back, then find 5 other restaurants. But don't do it to more than 5 because in a day, because Facebook will flag you as spam. So make sure you don't send it to 15 people thinking you're going to be able to do that, because Facebook will put you in Facebook jail for a couple of days. And that just means you won't be able to send any messages for a couple of days. You can also do a guinea pig party. So if you were scared about the restaurant, or you're in a location where you can't do in-person parties, you can have just some friends and family over and do what we call a guinea pig paint party. Now, it has nothing to do with guinea pigs, like the animal. It has everything to do with you finding how you feel teaching a paint party. You having a family member or a friend over. I actually find it less nerve-wracking to have it at a restaurant with people I don't know than having it with my family who I know are going to heckle me and be silly. So that's up to you. If you want to practice on your family, you can. If not, I like to just go for it and book one at a restaurant. And so we have some people here I wanted to share. So here's some paint party success. And how many of y'all have been thinking about doing art kits? Okay. There's many ways to do paint parties. Remember, I talked to you about the beginning about thinking about the possibilities. Like, what could just one paint party do for you if you were teaching one paint party a month? There's many ways to teach paint parties. I teach all of the different ways. I teach in person. I teach art kits. I also teach you how to do online paint parties. But you've got to figure out which one you want to do first before you can take action. If you're trying to do all the types of paint parties, you will get confused. So this one, I wanted to read you. This one, she did 35. She did an online paint party for 35. Oh my gosh, Jamie said she did a guinea pig paint party at her house to start. Awesome. Christine says you're sending this via Facebook. Yes, Christine, because you can search in the restaurants for local restaurants in your area in Facebook, and then just send a little quick message. Just a little note, and we talk about this a lot in Paint Party Headquarters. If your personal Facebook page, which is also known as your online resume, just a little heads up there. Remember marketing. I love marketing and I talk a lot about it. If your personal Facebook page is just a bunch of meanness, a bunch of rants, a bunch of crock pot and cat videos that you forwarded, nothing wrong with cat videos and nothing wrong with crock pot recipes. But I'm telling you, people will go look at you and see if you have anything to do with painting before they reply back. So just maybe keep that in mind. You want to keep your personal Facebook page clean. You want to keep it, professional. You want it to be fun. It's your personal Facebook page. But regardless of how personal it is, when you are online doing this, people are going to go look and just make sure that, it's not somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. So that's why you see me on my personal page. I'll be doing a painting, or I'll show, oh, thank you for coming to this paint party. I'm not selling on my personal, but you'll also notice that I am a paint party person. You'll be able to tell that difference. So Maya T here, she had 35 guests with art kits included. This was done through a Zoom group with 32 of them present. And she says it was nice that some of them were willing to show their projects during class so they could see how they were doing. Wendy says her first 2 paint parties were a huge success. Both on the same day was hard. She did 2 paint parties on one day. You're crazy like me, Wendy. She says, I love sharing with the women of my church, a morning Bible study and then an evening Bible study. Then I booked a kids party too from that night. Y'all, never underestimate the power of a small party. Big connections happen at small parties. She says, I'm so excited. I hope the momentum continues. Thank y'all for the advice and help getting ready for the party. Okay, so I want you to kind of know which one you are, because you can't know where to go if you don't know where you are, okay? So I want you to put in the comments which one you think you are. I'm going to go through these super fast because I want to have time to do some questions, okay? All right, so the hopeful artist, that is all about somebody that is brand new to painting. They know art heals. They believe God is the ultimate artist. The reason I am very open about my faith and about how I am definitely like all open about how God has helped me through this process. I am very open about that in everything I do. When you see me paint on a Facebook Live, I don't really hide that at all. At all. And that's just who I am. And the reason why is I want you to know that I know this whole entrepreneurial growth that we're doing, it is not just about what we're doing in the business. We are a human being. We are a whole person. And I think that it would be, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that. And I did not acknowledge where my successes come from, which is from God. Like, I have to give him the glory in this. I also like to say that because I want you to know that, yes, you're going to learn so much from me, but we do have in Paint Party Headquarters an optional, totally optional prayer and gratitude meeting. So I just like to let y'all know that that's there, because I know that some of y'all want to pray for each other. But again, you can come learn all the business stuff and not even be a part of that stuff. That's totally fine. But I want you to know that's an option. But yeah, this is like, you're getting ready to start painting. Stage 2, you're the dreaming artist. How many of you are in stage 2, where you're already painting, but you are starting to think about what life could look like if I did a paint party a month? Could I put that money away for a family vacation? Could I use that money to pay for something for my kids' school? Whatever that looks like. Some of y'all may be number 3. You're the confident artist. You are already doing paintings. You're posting on social media. You're like starting to get this going, but you're wanting to get things going. You have a PayPal account set up. You're starting to get a little traction. Some of y'all are stage 4. You are going live on Facebook, which I tell you to do and I teach you to do. You're collecting emails from every paint party because you know what to do with those emails. You're using social media for door prizes. How many of y'all are the techie artist? You're already in stage 4. And then how many of y'all are in stage 5? You are doing paint parties like crazy. You are repeating the process constantly. You are finding new locations, or you're repeating the same locations that you've been going to. You're creating buzz for your social media. You're, like me last night, as I'm talking, I'm taking pictures. You're already in it. You know what to do. It's like, the back of your hand, it's memory, it's muscle memory, because you've done it so much. How many of y'all are in that stage where you're like dreaming of the next thing? You got this down. You're getting ready to maybe move something online and you want to do a whole nother thing. So let me know in the comments which stage you are. And then I'm going to quickly talk about Paint Party Headquarters, because I told y'all we were going to talk about the surprise and how if you wanted to be a part of Paint Party Headquarters, I'm going to tell you what's involved in it. And then we're going to answer your questions. Whether you want to be a part of Paint Party Headquarters or not, I am going to answer questions like a mad woman to give you as much as possible as we do this last day of the Paint and Business Bootcamp. And Brandy says she is a hopeful artist. Susan says number 3 for me, hoping to be on number 4 soon. That's awesome. Okay, let me take a drink and tell y'all a little bit about Paint Party Headquarters, okay? So make sure you keep those questions coming, because we're going to answer all of them, okay? All right, so Paint Party Headquarters. This is where you get to learn from me every single month. So if you're like, I have had a blast at this Paint and Business Bootcamp, and I do not want to stop. I want to keep learning. I want to find an accountability group. I want to get the marketing materials for all of Heidi's paintings, because in Paint Party Headquarters, every single painting that I have created, I give you rights to use for your business. Now, some people think that that's the biggest draw of Paint Party Headquarters. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have, paintings I can use. You saw, I give you the image that you can go ahead and book parties, just like Amy did already through this Paint and Business Bootcamp, which let's give her a congrats. Congrats, Amy, for already booking a party. You're high five. You're already there. You're already getting this party going. But that's not the biggest draw. The biggest draw is not only we're going to be there when you are, maybe not getting the support from your family, or you're feeling lost, or you're feeling stuck, or you're going to have that high of, I did a paint party, it was successful. Now I got the low of, why didn't anybody show up? Remember, I told you not to tie your success to your business. That is not your ultimate success as a human. And we're going to be there. Not only, we have so much. So I'm going to share a little bit inside of what is in Paint Party Headquarters, okay? So we're going to talk about, you're going to get a monthly on-trend painting tutorial, which we have over 100 on-trend painting tutorials. And we have around 2,000 people inside of Paint Party Headquarters. And this group is hopping. Let me tell you, they are just like you saw on the share a minute ago. She said, thanks to another Paint Party Headquarters member for sharing a design. That's the coolest thing. I share all my designs. So if you see me go live on a Paint Party Headquarters, or I'm sorry, on Texas Art and Soul, a lot of times you'll see me and I'll create a brand new painting live. I'll literally go, all of Paint Party Headquarters knows, as soon as that's done, it's off to the races. You can make money on it. You can use my design. You can use what I've created. But really the beauty of this is the community. And Jamie she just answered. She said, the biggest value for me is the community. Meeting people. Last night you saw it live. You saw people calling themselves the Dolly Sisters who met up and meet every Sunday through Zoom to talk about what to do in their business. And there was another pair of girls that had met, and then they just met another girl last night that now they're going to connect with. And there's a lot of y'all that are building these little sub communities. I talk about it all the time. I have a group of friends that, we have a text going nonstop all day that we're asking questions, talking to each other, helping each other out. In addition to that, we also give you marketing tips every month, social media tips every month, monthly Q&As where I'm on here just answering your questions, and brainstorming and collaboration sessions, prayer and gratitude meetings. 3 years. We have been open almost 3 years. And Deb says, PPHQ paintings, marketing, tech trainings, help, encouragement, sisterhood. It's crazy how much we get. Yes, some of y'all that are Paint Party Headquarters sisters or brothers right now, if you'll just let me know in the comments. I would love to know who is on here that's already in Paint Party Headquarters. So there's so much. And really, guys, Paint Party Headquarters is $37 a month. We have an actual public opening for Paint Party Headquarters, which will be the last time we offer it at $37 a month. We're actually raising our prices. So we're going to be, if you get it, you're going to be grandfathered in at $37 a month. That will be the last time that I have it at this price, because we've been open now 3 years and we have over 100 tutorials, including marketing, including images, including trainings like crazy that we are filming for you all the time. And anybody that's in Paint Party Headquarters can tell you, I feel like my job is to wake up and help you solve problems. That's what I feel like I'm supposed to do. So I am waking up every day and going, how can I get them to book paint parties faster? How can I get them to have online paint parties faster? How can I get you success faster? Tammy says, Paint Party Headquarters is life-changing all around. Oh, thank you for saying that, Tammy. That is so sweet. And I got to see you a lot today. That was awesome. Terry Barnes says, I love PPHQ. Heidi and all the group is awesome. Yeah, we have a whole team that is literally in there every single day helping. So I'm going to show a little bit about what is inside, okay? Oh my gosh, Kathy says, it is so worth it. I love it. And that is awesome. Yeah, we really try. Paint Party Headquarters for almost 2 years. And Lisa says it's kept her sane. We really try to help each other out. So I'm going to share just a little sneak peek inside a couple of things for you, okay? Oh, and Anna said there's 5 of them in the accountability group. That is crazy. 5 of y'all. Samantha says, wow, I cannot wait. When this is over, I'm going straight there to get signed up. Yeah, I'm going to show you exactly how to sign up. And y'all, I'm telling you, if you have loved this last 3 days, you are not going to believe what we have in here, because I created Paint Party Headquarters out of a need. When I first started teaching paint parties, I was searching for somebody like me to help me do this, because I was working full time. I was exhausted. I needed just the next on-trend painting. I didn't need to have I didn't want to have all this time creating. I didn't want to, I just needed to go, okay, I'm working full time. I'm making this as extra money. I just need the next best thing. Did y'all know that when you go to Pinterest, you're not supposed to just grab the things on Pinterest and use to make money? It's copyright. You can get in trouble for that. So what I did was I was like, I've got to create all this stuff, but I don't have time because I'm busy. So I'm going to share with you. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit about, because some people sometimes get confused with, let me see if I can do this as, oh, good. Y'all can see it all. Okay. So you have several different ways to get this. So some of y'all love to go on Facebook and you want to be in that private Facebook group. And some of y'all just want to get into training mode. So we have an entire site set up for you so that you can get everything you need. So every single thing is in here, organized, so that you can get not only tutorials in here, so that you don't have to get distracted by, for example, all of the different things that are going on Facebook. You can just get in here and learn. So we have everything very, very well organized. We have SVGs. That was a request. People wanted SVGs. So we were like, okay, what can we do? So I hired 3 graphic designers that are doing SVGs every month for y'all. So we have 15 new SVGs every single month that you can use for your paint parties, that you could just copy, just use, grab, print out, use carbon paper, or put them on your cutter, things like that. So many different things, including painting tutorials, all of that. There's a ton of stuff, tutorials, and everything you need to do a paint party business, okay? Then you can do that through the hub, if you want to call it, the Paint Party Headquarters hub. Then we have a Facebook group. Now, this Facebook group is a private group that only the people who pay for Paint Party Headquarters are a part of. So we have, and again, the way that we set up Paint and Business Bootcamp, I kept saying, go to the announcements, go to the announcements, because anything that is happening right now that's really important is in the announcements, okay? We have everything organized in guides, but we want the stuff that's happening really, really good. Let me go ahead and see if I can zoom in. Okay, is that better? Can y'all see that a little better? So we have everything in the announcements all organized and pretty for y'all so that you can see it. We have paint party pep talks where we take, paint party headquarter members that are having success and they do little 3-minute pep talks for you. We do social media tips. We do marketing, all of those wonderful things that you need. Bonus SVGs, tutorials, everything that you need, as well as I'm in there all the time trying to give guidance, Q&As, things like that. And then you can see everything comes out on Mondays. And then I also do fun things where I like to give away like a $100 gift card. So we're doing a $100 spa gift card for people who do the challenge, where they basically just, post a picture of them holding a painting, asking a question like, should I add glitter? The reason for that is it gets you out of your comfort zone and it shows people that you are painting, and lots of people will engage. So there's little tips like that that I'll do every month for you, okay? But what I want to show you in here is I want to show you a little bit of the interaction, because we are a awesome group, okay? If I'm not the one that is answering the questions, we have so many people in here that are helping you, okay? So we have people that are posting photos. We have people asking questions. We have people that are, doing a design for art kits. Then also I want to show you if you went to more and you go to media, we also have an album. This is where everybody's posting. But if you go in albums, and this is all in the welcome. We have like a 10-minute welcome video that'll show you everything. But if you go into albums and you click on gold, for example, so there's tracer packs that we've created. There's SVGs, 129 of them that you can grab and start using. There's 214 gold designs already. So you can literally grab any of these designs and literally start booking your parties as long as you know how to paint. If you're at stage 1, remember the hopeful artist, you're going to want to paint with me. You're going to want to start learning to paint first. And sometimes people ask, can I just be in this and paint with you? Yes, you can. Just know that we heavily talk about business, because this is for me to teach you how to make money doing this. But you could totally just paint and do the prayer and gratitude meetings if you want. Like, you totally can. But we have these already set for you, ready to go. Grab and go. And these, I just keep adding. The faster I paint, the more we put in here. And the cool thing about this, let's say that you want to do, let me see, a spring design, for example. So let's say you click on this one. You have a training right here. You have the step-by-step tutorial. You have the marketing materials. You have everything you need to get going on this painting immediately. So remember that script we talked about earlier. Hi, my name is Heidi and I teach paint parties. I'd love to come to your restaurant on a slow night. Do you have time to talk this week? Why do I have that memorized? Because I have used it a zillion times and have booked a zillion paint parties from it. I have it memorized because I use it all the time. Anytime I look on my calendar and I don't have enough paint parties for what I want, remember, your success looks different than anybody else's success. So you may only want one event a month, and that is fine. But if you want more than that, use these paintings, especially if you already know how to paint. Again, they are ready for you. Can you create your own? Of course, but you don't have to, okay? So it's only $37 a month, and we're going to take some questions. So if you want to get set up with this, if you want to be a part of Paint Party Headquarters, if you want to be grandfathered in for $37 a month and you want to keep this party going, and you've realized this last 3 days that, you know, if you think you've learned a lot from me in the last 3 days, think of what you can learn if you're with me for 6 months. Think of what you can learn if you're with me for a year, because I am constantly learning. I am a lifelong learner. I am never going to be at the point where I'm like, yep, done, learned it all, got this down. No. So I want to take some questions, and Vicki says, okay, I'm getting more excited. So if you want to sign up for Paint Party Headquarters, here's how it works. All you do is click the link. You click the link and it's going to bring you to the Paint Party Headquarters page. You can sign up with a debit or credit card. Again, it's $37 a month. So if you sign up today, it will take out $37 a month. You can cancel it anytime. I do recommend that you try to stay at least 6 months. Okay. A lot of you, if you pay for the year, you get a whole month free. Okay. So if you pay for the year, that means you're committing for a year. So commit to yourself. Success, doing paint parties, learning takes time. How many of y'all have started a new job and you immediately went directly into your role at that new job and you had it perfect the very first time? How many of y'all had that? No, none of y'all, none of us. There's a training period. There's an orientation period. You can't just learn it overnight. When y'all go to send these messages out, and some of you will be taking action tonight, you're going to start getting some responses back. And then you're going to be like, oh crap, it's happening. Let's do this. And I want to be there. And we want to be there every step of the way to help you and hold your hand. Is it hard? Yeah, there's going to be times when it's hard. But is it awesome? Yes, you are going to be so proud of yourself. And I want you to go back to, what could doing one paint party a month do for my family? What are the possibilities if I take action? let's have some fun. Bye, guys.